Welcome back to Ni no Kuni. So you remember how I made this guy into the wrong thing?
I was afraid that let you send me the wrong video or something.
No. I'm just making up for a mistake I made. Also, Marcus Sansfamiliar was able to metamorphose already.
I like the bottom one you're picking. I like his design.
Oh god, it's like Fee. It doesn't have arms. Just a cloak.
It looks like a barn owl.
Now this is the one that Derwin does want.
You made sure to check this time.
I did.
He looks pretty cool. Like Dracula.
But the next kingdom we need to pee on is Alma Moon.
By the way, this little mist thing seems to only affect cities.
Yeah.
You can go anywhere else in the map, no problem. The funny thing is, when you look at these people, you recognize that these are where NPCs were standing when it was normal. So you can kind of figure out who's who.
Even though they look nothing like them.
And yeah, this is how you avoid fighting them.
Don't you want to buy my wares?
Ba-ba-ba-ba-da. We're not doing Popeye, I'm sorry.
Oh dear.
Flippin' heck, that big beast looks cowing familiar.
Oh no! The Khalifa too?
Oh, what an awful thing. We need to beat up a character I don't like. Let's do this!
So this fight's tough, but it's not as tough as the cat.
No. If anything, it's because she's dumber.
Yep. She does have attacks that hit like a tank, but she's slower, so that helps. And she doesn't do any poison effects.
She has basically the same attacks, though.
Yeah.
I think I selected that on accident. Or I wanted to see if she had a darkness resistance. Which she doesn't, strangely enough.
It's just not worth the magic output at this point.
Yeah. Now, in a previous part, someone in the comments wanted you to explain something you said earlier, how JRPGs encourage you not to use items. And I think now's a good point to do that, because it's basically the same fight as King Tom.
That's fine. A big part of it is that when you deal with a lot of Western RPGs, let's go with Mass Effect or like Morrowind, equipment and items is everything. That's why your end goal is to get said item and things like that, so that it has that priority on emphasis on using those. JRPGs, it's different. They tend to focus on your ability to get things like special attacks and spells and things like that, or just have a character that hits hard. There's some item emphasis, when you deal with things like Ultima weapons and stuff, but generally it's not a primary focus. In fact, that's why there's always going to be a character that has a heal spell in your party. Always. There's always going to be that character who's a primary healer because they don't want to have you depend on buying items and things like that. They want someone who can support you in that manner. And in fact, they're designed to be that as the priority versus the secondary going, well, I have items too. In fact, items are designed in those games as a way to make certain situations easier, but not for gameplay.
Yeah, you'll notice through this whole Let's Play, the only items I really used with any consistency is magic replenishing items. Because I always had a healer.
Yeah, every now and then I notice you do, like, maybe revival spells if, say, your healer's not doing it. But your characters are designed to fight in a certain way, that they heal or they cast spells, and they don't need items to do it. There are exceptions to this rule. I'm going to say Skies of Arcadia because it does work in its favor to have items in certain situations, but for most of them, yeah, not too much emphasis on using items. In fact, they discourage it in the game, pretty much. Just in the way the gameplay works.
Drippy there gave the hint to use Burden on her, which I don't know if it ever worked, ever.
She has the same ability where once you start knocking down her health, she turns into her second form of standing.
The problem with Burden is it misses every single time.
And you're out of magic.
Yeah. And I didn't defend. This is her big attack.
And it hits hard. And it does stun, which sucks, because she doesn't have to be fast now.
Yeah. Here, I finally get it to work. And it doesn't really matter, because how long it takes for her to recover just isn't long enough for me to really do much damage.
Yeah, I never found those situations equating to the amount of magic you had to pump into it.
Yeah.
So when Drippy says, you can hit him with a fire spell, I'm just like, well, I'll just hit whatever does the most damage, shut up.
And she does that more than anything, which I don't think has ever hit anyone.
Which has no range.
Yeah.
Less likely to kill you than the cat, but that stun ability, the fact that stun hurts with a character like that, because she hits hard.
Our bravery is justly rewarded.
And he does talk a lot, damn.
Yeah. Everyone except Oliver.
Well, speaking of the leveling curve with Marcus Hand, if you can see here, it's a pretty good appearance for that. All of his familiars are like level 20-ish.
They're pretty tough considering, though.
I think it's kind of a leveling curve with them.
Quickly, P, smash the crystal. Right, leave it to P. Sanctify!
Wow, boob sound effects. You heard it here, folks.
I don't understand you, Japan. When boobs move, is that just immediately hilarious over there?
I don't know if it's almost turned into a running gag now. I mean, literally running, because they run, it's like it's going crazy.
Like they're moving like they're trying to run off of the chest.
Well, see, like, I'll admit it, I liked the Dead or Alive fighting series, and Team Ninja was, infamous for their obsession with jiggle physics. To the point where they released those, Extreme Beach volleyball games. Do you remember those?
I saw that, yeah.
And, it was depressing because, they made the first one, which was just ridiculous in the first place, and then the second one was going to come out on a newer generation console, and guess what the part of it they were advertising the most? Individual breast physics. This boob moves different than that boob. And it looked ridiculous, by the way.
It was actually creepy, not sexy.
The only forgiving grace they have for that particular company is that they made Ninja Gaiden, and that's like one of my favorite games.
On the other hand, they made Metroid Other M,
Yeah.
so they're walking a tightrope.
Yeah. You know what? The thing is, I heard the Other M is not that bad.
It's the story, more than anything.
Yeah, the baby.
I haven't played it myself, from my understanding, the gameplay works. It's just, the story didn't translate well.
Apis, at least I have you to talk to. What the council are doing. Can it be right? Earlier on, I overheard the captain of the guards. He said the kingdom was in a parlous state. He spoke of people too poor to buy bread and of the starving dying in the streets. Yet, the council assure me all is well. Just who is telling the truth? Tell me, Apis.
This is most troubling. The Queen persists in her wish to involve herself in the affairs of state.
Should this continue, she may realize that it is we who now rule the kingdom and alert the populace.
Surely it would do little harm to allow her to sit on the council, provided that we keep the more sensitive matters from Her Majesty's hearing.
Yes, and ensure that she is made publicly responsible for all of the council's decisions.
Ha! A most splendid idea. We shall keep our kingdom while she takes all the blame.
Father, I know you will be proud of me. Today, the council gave me their approval. I am to be involved in the affairs of state. Now I can work for the best interests of my subjects. I have taken a long, hard look at myself, and I have decided to put my subjects first and do all I can to rid the world of war and famine. Father, I have learned of the existence of an ancient spell with the power to end all suffering. I shall do you proud. I vow that I will master that spell and save my subjects and kingdom from despair. Soon, Father, soon I shall bring the light of hope into the lives of my people.
It's a pretty common story archetype to take a character of such purity and have them exposed to the wrongdoings, because they tend to have the most dramatic falls. And that's what it's kind of showing so far.
Kind of like what we saw with Lucian turning into Shadar.
Yeah.
Though she's actually not as an abrupt a backstory.
Yeah.
Poor P.
And something that I really do sometimes appreciate in Japanese storytelling, and they do this a lot, and it's just good in storytelling overall, is that villains never should really think themselves as evil.
Yeah.
And you can tell that, spoiler alert, that's going to turn into that evil white witch, that she believes in her own philosophy created by evil circumstance, that she's doing something right. She's not doing it because she thinks, wahaha, it's evil, let me do evil shit. Too many stories kind of focus on a character just being evil for the sake of being evil.
She's not as interesting a villain as Shadar was, but
No.
I still like her.
I don't think she's as interesting in her current form. I think the form we're seeing in these flashbacks is really interesting, though.
Yeah.
In conjunction with the story she's in. If she was just by herself, she's like, oh, boring, Queen P.
I came from out of nowhere. I can't get around here.
So you're a fish? Oh god, we're being attacked by children. Kill the council first. Kill the frog.
These guys have some bizarre names. Pompous Pensioner.
I thought it said Pontius Pepperoni.
The Bible story you didn't hear.
I would like to hear that one. And Joseph said, Mamma mia! That's a spicy meatball, Jesus.
And Pizza Joe did betray the Lord.
But did betray us. So saith the mozzarella sticketh. Is this blasphemous? I don't care.
I'm not Christian, so I don't care.
Yeah, neither am I, so it doesn't matter.
To any Christians listening, ha 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 ha. Now it's blasphemous.
Okay, yeah, that... You had to go there.
Alright, I'm metamorphosing him correctly this time.
Thank God he's no longer a baby.
No, he's a very inefficient welder.
You went through all this, and the sad thing is that the character you made it for is a zombie now and can't accept it.
Where's... No, he's in Perdita. He's safe.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yep.
I would have been laughing hard if you went, and I just made him shit.
What is that noise?
See, this one I was sitting there thinking, like, well, Marcuson's with us, so obviously he's not the boss.
Yeah. And I was kind of hoping we wouldn't have to fight another boss.
I thought it'd been cool to fight like Marcus and like he gets here and not fart, but fight him. We could fart on Marcuson too, whatever floats your boat. But he maybe got here and then transformed into like someone you fight.
Which, but I think would have been a kind of a cop-out, because he's been walking through all this ash with us. But, like, nothing happens to any of us.
Is that ever really explained?
Destiny.
Destiny magic?
Look, there it is!
So we're back here again.
Stop your whinging, man. I mean, it could be worse.
Huh? Oh!
Nickers!
That tank! That's the very latest weapon in Hamlin's arsenal. You're telling me machines are turning into monsters now? I cannot say. Whoa!
It's just a machine. Let's show it what for.
Oh, by the way, this guy's kind of tough too.
Yeah.
None of them are really that weak at this point. None of the bosses.
But you know what's funny?
What?
This is an incredibly easy fight for me. I don't know why. Sausage roll.
Did you see that crazy shit? That shit was bananas.
That shit was sausages.
That shit was one spicy meatball.
So saith the Lord Pizza Joe. Yeah, that didn't do anything significant.
You know what I would have liked is that those unleash spells would make those bosses a familiar for a short period of time.
That would rule.
And you're basically controlling them. Yeah, controlling them fighting bosses would be kick-ass.
That was only moderately more powerful than the other one.
Oddly enough, I didn't have a hard time with this version 2 version than I did with the first one. The first one was me still getting used to blocking on time.
Yeah. Oh good, everyone's using attacks that he's resistant to.
Good job, folks. You can't figure this out by now.
Oh god. God damn it.
Oh yeah, that's the part that sucks about his attacks. He decides to stomp you like 50 times until you die.
No, the other bosses had 2 forms. His is a little stranger.
Yeah?
Oh, please, really? That's pretty much it. I just need to get that stuff off of him. Which is easier done than said, frankly.
What?
Yeah. Because look, he does it for me.
Thanks!
No,
and it's back on him, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. But really, look at all the damage I'm doing to him. It's not actually doing anything beneficial for him.
I love these transformations each of them have is so lame. Like, oh, you thought that form was dangerous. Just wait till I stand up.
Oh, you thought I was weak before? Well, just wait until I foresee what'll happen to me when you're done with me.
You thought I was dangerous before. Just wait till I cover myself in garbage. I've done that for years and really, by nothing.
Why do you think I haven't died in this Let's Play yet?
Spells just bounce off of him and just like, oh yeah, trash bag him.
I mean, look, one more attack, he's done.
That look on his face is like, oh shit. And he's dead.
That did nothing for him.
Faceplant hashtag fail.
Everyone gets leveled up.
Those are always the best.
And the gyro grappler we used to make another alchemy gun for Swain. But we actually need some ingredients that we don't get for a very long time. I don't want that.
Got to keep an owl around still.
P, it's time for your magic.
Right. Sanctify!
I like how it's like it transferred back to a normal terrible tank.
Moccasin, leave. I want back in the group.
I'm the first member of the DK crew. He's just doing a jig behind them while singing.
Swain. Swain.
Donkey Swain is here. I wish maybe somewhere in the story they mentioned that this particular nation is like on the path of war, because why else would they have tanks?
We're technologically advanced, which means murder.
Of no one, because we're not fighting anyone. Look at all these tanks we're making with industry. Are we going to use them? Look how cool they look.
That one skated.
Pachoo, pachoo, it would go if it had bullets.
Unfortunately, they used them all on Oliver.
Our economy is in shambles, I apologize. Good, we get to get some more flashback information here.
Now, if only I looked at you, then maybe I could think ahead. I haven't seen the box art yet.
Are you talking about Oliver? Nope, nope, nope.
Just walks off the Iron Wyvern.
Just off into the sky.
Double middle fingers, hold it backwards to everyone. Nope, nope.
While he's falling. just middle fingers. Nope, 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 nope.
Oh, you found a flower? Yes, I've been holding it for the last 5 minutes.
Meanwhile, Drippy's just spacing out. So my idea is, I guess she throws the flower up and it shows a giant, like, screen with memories. Or just all the memories pop in their head, I guess.
How could this happen? Every man, woman, and child in my kingdom. How? Why did this happen?
Mana was meant to help them.
Not this. Tell me why.
My name is Cassiopeia. I am Queen of Nazcar. When I was a child, I was known as P. I lived together with my father and did not want for anything. Then, when my beloved father passed away, I ascended the throne, little knowing what horrors awaited me. Ignorant of the affairs of state, I allowed the Council of 12 to control everything. But the Council paid not the slightest heed to the well-being of my subjects. I had always thought of Nazcar as a peaceful realm, but now I saw that it was blighted by greed and torn apart by conflict. The scales had fallen from my eyes. I felt the desperation of those ground down by poverty. I felt the pain of those fighting for survival. And I saw how I had lived a gilded life of luxury, a life they could never hope to enjoy. I decided that I must change. I would work for the good of others and do all I could to eliminate conflict. That is how I arrived at my decision. That is what drew me to the spell that would save the world. Mana. When I came to use that spell, not a doubt clouded my mind. I was certain that the mana would purify the hearts of my people. But then, my dream of peace turned into a nightmare. All those whom the mana touched became beasts and turned upon each other. For years, the nightmare went on. The years stretched to decades. And still it continued. Then one day, I realized there was no one left. The council was gone. The guards were gone. My ladies in waiting, too. They were all gone. The mana I had unleashed had claimed the lives of every one of them. I am completely and utterly alone. But death is a privilege I shall never know. And who can say what this endless solitude may make of me? That is why I have decided to fill these flowers with my memories. If you have found this flower, I pray that you will find your way to me. That is my only wish. Until then, I shall be waiting, always waiting, alone in Nazca.
Can't help but laugh at how stupidly obvious that statement was. You mean that mana we've been destroying is the same mana we've been dealing with?
I hate my home. Nazca is a pretty unsubtle reference to Nausicaa, I think.
Yeah.
Another Studio Ghibli movie.
Nazca in the Valley of the Wind.
I still need to see that one.
One of the older ones, but it definitely still holds up.
Well, they're all older than you expect.
Well, yeah.
Not a lot of hope left.
So it makes you wonder if she went about and killed everyone, like everyone except for her. How did all these people come to be?
Well, that was only one kingdom.
Yeah.
It was just Nazca.
And now she wants to do it on this other place. Stupid. God damn it. Yes, silly like a birdie, like a doodly doop doop doodly derp derp. Thanks. Why did I decide to talk to you?
Oliver just quietly sits down, cross-legged, and sighs on his hands.
Wow, he grew in size considerably.
Hey, you piece of shit. I wish this was the last time I had to talk to you, but it's the last time I have to do a complete shit side quest for you at least, so I'll take it.
Don't blame me, you chose to do it for completion's sakes. Shit.
Nerdy people are lonely.
Of all people say that Drippy, the loneliest character in the game, really? You say in a pun way or to hold back the tears?
It started that way, but he couldn't hold it.
Yeah.
Also, that reward was not worth it.
No kidding. Thanks for all this hard work. Here's a bunch of things you already have and a little bit of money. Completionist.
I make more money just by grinding the monsters outside of Perdita.
So at this point, all that's really left is the secret boss and the final boss, I think. And the events that take place in the final dungeon, I should say.
Yep, there's 2 more parts of the actual game. After that, we finally get to credits, we finally finish everything, and then it's a bunch of post-game stuff. Pretty much all of that will be screenshot updates.
So yeah, we're on the home stretch of an RPG. Who thought we'd ever say that?
Yeah.
And we're gonna start some new ones. Hooray. But seriously, it's gotten to the point where when characters do dialogue that's repeating the same thing that was just said a second ago, it makes me laugh now. I don't get upset, it just makes me giggle.
Because it's like they went this far with no self-awareness.
They went this far with no self-awareness, and they tried this hard to explain events of the story 50 times to try to get kids to get it, I guess? That kind of underestimates the audience, I think. It really does kind of say, look, we're going to explain it 3 times, let's have the characters explain it again.
Yeah.
If the spoken version of it you don't understand, they're not going to understand the text version because they probably can't read. You mean the mana she created is the same mana that we deal with mana? You know?
You mean the same mana she created is the same mana she created?
And guess what? They're going to take a while to piece together that this woman is this lady.
Did that sound vague? So does this shit.
When I just realized I started to talk about it, I'm like, I won't spoil everything. You feel bad for her, but at the same time, I don't know how much the council really played in favor to the events of her creating mana. Because even if the council wasn't there, she would have created mana anyway.
Well, not necessarily. I can't go any further because that's spoiler for post-game material, but...
More story to come.
Yep. They go into more detail with this when the game is over, believe it or not. But in the next part, the penultimate part of the Let's Play, is Final Showdown.